In a world of mass production and straight lines, where we're surrounded by the flat, the perfect, the disposable, there exists a different kind of material, one that remembers. It remembers the wind that shaped it, the rain that fed it, the centuries it stood silent, growing. This is wood with memory. And when we listen, when we work not to make but to reveal, something remarkable happens. This is naturally crafted wood, not just furniture, but stories given a second life. Let's discover how to find them, how to set them free, and how to build a craft that matters. What if working with wood wasn't about forcing a straight line, but about listening to a story that's already written in the grain? That's the soul of naturally crafted wood. This isn't about what you make, it's about what you reveal. It's the complete opposite of mass-produced, uniform lumber. This is wood that speaks through every mark, every curve, every so-called imperfection. Imagine wood that respects the tree's natural form, with live edges, burls, and spalted sections that show nature's hand at work. It highlights nature's own artwork, the grain patterns, the mineral streaks, even the delicate trails left by insects. This philosophy embraces natural flaws as features, not mistakes. Knots, cracks, checks, and bark inclusions become the focal points, not something to hide. It uses minimal processing, never erasing the wood's true character. Often, it begins with found wood, fallen trees, storm debris, reclaimed timber from old barns. At its heart, it celebrates the Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi, finding profound beauty in imperfection and the passage of time. This is not the perfectly square, anonymous board from the lumberyard. This is wood with memory. It remembers it was once a living, breathing organism, shaped by a century of wind, rain, and sun. So, how do you begin creating with this philosophy? It starts with the treasure hunt, finding the wood. Look to urban forestry programs, where cities often give away wood from removed trees. Search after storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, ice storms perform nature's own pruning. Walk the rivers and beaches for driftwood with incredible, water-smoothed textures. Connect with farmers and landowners who have fallen trees they'd otherwise burn or chip. Scout construction and demolition sites for reclaimed beams and barn wood. And never underestimate the potential in your own backyard. That fallen branch holds a story. As you search, look for the unique grain, curly, quilted, or bird's eye patterns. Seek out the natural edge where the bark is still intact. Value character marks like spalting, those beautiful fungal patterns, mineral streaks, and burls. See interesting defects not as problems, but as potential. A crack can become a river of epoxy, a hole can tell a tale. Once you found your treasure, the real work begins with processing with purpose. The most critical step is stabilization. You can air dry it, the traditional, patient method of 1 year per inch of thickness, or use a kiln for faster, careful drying. For punky or soft wood, stabilization resin under vacuum works wonders. And always anchor seal the ends to prevent checking during this vulnerable time. When it comes to milling, remember, slice, don't square. Cut slabs that follow the wood's natural shape. Preserve those live edges, leave the bark or cambium layer when you can. Flatten, but don't plane it too thin. Keep those beautiful thickness variations. And whenever possible, reach for hand tools, draw knives, hand planes, card scrapers over roaring power sanders. There's a connection there. Your approach should be enhancement, not concealment. Fill cracks with clear or black epoxy. Don't hide them with matching wood filler. Stabilize loose bark with resin instead of stripping it away. Highlight saw marks and mill marks as texture. Don't sand away all the history. And for finishes, choose natural ones, tung oil, linseed oil, beeswax, things that soak in and protect, not plastic coatings that build up and hide. You can start with beginner-friendly projects like live-edge shelves with simple brackets, or river tables where 2 slabs are joined by a colored epoxy river. Natural slice coasters or barcon platters that need little more than sanding and finishing are perfect first steps. As you grow, move to sculptural furniture that follows the wood's contours, mounted slabs as organic wall art, or driftwood chandeliers. Create functional art like bowls carved from burls. And for the advanced maker, there are architectural elements like stair treads from single slabs, whole tree projects that turn an entire trunk into a dining table, or sculptural installations that create entire organic environments. This is how you build heirloom furniture, pieces meant to last generations. To begin, you don't need a fortune in tools. A minimalist setup might include a chainsaw with a milling attachment, a planer, a router with a flattening jig, an orbital sander, plenty of clamps, and basic hand tools. If you grow serious, you might invest in a bandsaw mill, a wide belt sander, and a vacuum chamber for stabilization. Or you can embrace the no-power tools approach entirely, using hand saws, draw knives, and hand planes. It's all about the connection between your hands and the wood. Now, how do you share this with the world? How do you market something that's so much more than a product? You lead with story. Every piece needs an origin story. This maple lived 120 years in Vermont before the ice storm. This cedar drifted down the Columbia River for 7 years. Document this with GPS coordinates, photos of the tree in its original home, even the weather history from its lifetime. Show the transformation journey, the before shot, raw and muddy. Document each step of drying, milling, and finishing. Highlight your deliberate choices. I kept this crack because... Capture the magical reveal moment when the first application of oil brings the grain to life. Weave the final narrative. What this wood is now as functional art, what it was as living history, and what it represents, sustainability and the beauty of imperfection. For marketing channels, visual platforms are your best friend. On Instagram and Pinterest, share a mix, 30% process, 40% finished pieces, 20% stories, and 10% lifestyle. Use hashtags like livagewood and tree history. Create satisfying reels or TikToks of milling and those reveal moments. For a high-end approach, create a professional lookbook, partner with interior designers, approach art galleries, and showcase at design shows. Build partnerships with architects and builders to become their source for statement pieces. For direct-to-consumer sales, platforms like Etsy are great for smaller items. Do local pop-ups and open houses to let people feel the wood, and always be open to custom commissions. Your pricing should reflect more than materials and time. Use this formula, materials plus time, multiplied by a story multiplier and then a scarcity factor. That story multiplier, anywhere from 1.5 to 3 times, is the value of the narrative. The scarcity factor asks, is this wood irreplaceable? If yes, that doubles the value. Differentiate yourself with a certificate of authenticity for each piece, detailing the species, location, and story. Offer the experience, wood selection appointments, build-along videos for clients. Tout your sustainability. Calculate the carbon sequestered in your work. Partner with tree planting organizations. Promise zero waste. Embrace an educational role by hosting workshops or partnering with schools. There are beautiful niche markets waiting. Memorial woodworking, transforming a family's beloved tree into furniture after it falls. Corporate story tables, made from trees removed during a company's construction. The wedding market, for altar backdrops and ring boxes. You can be a local hero, using only wood from your region and nomming pieces after local landmarks. Or tap into the wellness angle, creating pieces for yoga studios that celebrate wood's grounding, tactile nature. For your launch, spend the first few months building a foundation of 5-7 stunning pieces and photographing them beautifully. Source amazing story logs for future work. In months 4 to 6, make your first sales with a special discount for founding customers, do pop-ups, and reach out to designers. By the end of your first year, refine your popular designs, raise your prices confidently, and consider adding help. In year 2 and beyond, specialize. Become known for one thing, perhaps driftwood or a specific species, and expand into teaching. Because naturally crafted wood isn't a passing trend, it's a corrective. In a world of flat-pack, disposable furniture, you're offering a connection to nature and history. You're selling permanence in a temporary culture, authenticity in a filtered world, and true sustainability through preservation. Your most powerful marketing tool won't be your Instagram feed. It will be the moment someone runs their hand over a table you made, feels the undulating grain beneath their fingers, and whispers, "I can feel the life in this." That moment, when someone connects with a tree's century-long story through your work, is when you've succeeded. You're not just selling furniture. You're selling touchable history, preserved beauty, and a quiet rebellion against the disposable. So start with one log. Listen closely to what it wants to become. Remember, your hands are not the creators here. They are merely the translators, bridging the gap between the tree and its next magnificent life. What story will you help tell today? The beauty of this craft is that it asks us to slow down, to see potential where others see waste, to listen to the whispers in the grain. You're not imposing a design. You're collaborating with a century of history. This is more than woodworking. It's a quiet rebellion against the temporary. It's creating heirlooms that hold warmth, connection, and stories that will be told for generations. It's building a legacy, one rescued log at a time. So the next time you walk through the woods or see a fallen branch or pass a pile of old barn beams, look closer. Listen. What story is waiting to be told, and how will your hands help tell it? If this resonated with you, if you felt that pull toward a craft with soul, please subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to see it. And let us know in the comments, what's the most meaningful piece of wood you've ever held?